Hey everyone! Before we continue and you're into epic adventures, dark tales, and spine-tingling twists, you're in for a ride today. Make sure you stick around till the end. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. By subscribing and hitting that bell, you'll be the first to hear when I upload my next exciting adventure. Trust me, the next one's going to be even more epic. Long ago, in a remote village surrounded by dense forests and wild rivers, there lived a young woman named Aminata. She had heard stories all her life about the Golden Grove, a mystical forest that no one dared enter. It was said that a treasure lay hidden deep within its heart, a treasure that could make one the wealthiest person in the world. But the price of claiming it was steep. The grove was cursed, and those who tried to steal the treasure were never seen again. They say the spirit of the forest, a powerful being called the Night Walker, punished the greedy with eternal torment. Aminata had heard these stories from her grandmother, who warned her never to venture near the grove. But something in Aminata's heart stirred a feeling that the treasure might be the key to unlocking the mystery of her father's disappearance. Years ago, Aminata's father, a wealthy merchant, had set out to claim the treasure in the Golden Grove. He was a man of ambition and dreams of unimaginable wealth, but he never returned. The village spoke in hushed tones about his fate. They said he had fallen victim to the curse, his soul now trapped forever by the Night Walker. Despite the warnings, Aminata couldn't let go of the thought that her father had been taken unjustly. She knew she had to find him, and if the treasure was the key to unlocking the truth, then she would face whatever dangers lay ahead. One evening, while rummaging through her father's old belongings, Aminata found an ancient map, worn and faded with age. The map revealed the location of the Golden Grove, with cryptic symbols marking the path to the treasure. But part of the map was torn, leaving much of the route unknown. With the map in hand and a burning desire to find her father, Aminata decided to embark on the dangerous journey alone. She could not bear the thought of living in the shadow of unanswered questions. The journey was long and treacherous. Aminata crossed vast plains, climbed rocky hills, and waded through swamps. As she neared the forest's edge, a chilling wind greeted her, and the distant calls of unseen creatures echoed through the trees. The forest seemed alive, as though it were watching her. The moment she set foot in the Golden Grove, the trees seemed to whisper, their leaves rustling in a language she couldn't understand. A strange pull tugged at her heart, urging her deeper into the forest. The curse was real, and Aminata could feel it. Aminata soon came upon a wide river that cut through the heart of the forest. The river's current was swift, and the water churned as if it held secrets beneath. A shadowy figure appeared on the opposite shore, warning her that crossing would not be easy. The figure was the spirit of a traveler who had perished here long ago. To cross, the spirit said, you must face your deepest fear. Aminata stepped forward, unsure of what her fear would be. The river seemed to rise, swirling around her, but she held her ground. Slowly, the water parted, and the path ahead cleared. She had passed the first trial. Further into the grove, Aminata encountered an old man, draped in tattered robes, standing by a massive stone monument. The man was the guardian of the grove, an ancient being tasked with protecting the treasure. His eyes were like black pools, filled with centuries of sorrow. You seek the treasure, but you do not know what you truly seek, he said, his voice heavy with warning. The curse is not merely a punishment, it is a reflection of the greed that resides in the hearts of those who seek it. Beware, for the forest does not forget. Aminata refused to turn back. She had come too far, and nothing would stop her now. As Aminata ventured deeper into the forest, she began to see shadows moving between the trees. These were the lost souls, human figures once lured by the promise of the treasure. They had become twisted, their bodies turned to stone, their souls bound to the grove for eternity. They whispered to Aminata, tempting her with promises of power and wealth if she would just take the treasure. But Aminata resisted. She knew their stories, and she would not let herself be consumed by greed. Aminata came upon a serene lake with a surface so smooth it looked like glass. As she peered into the water, the lake's surface shimmered, and suddenly, visions of her father appeared. She saw him standing before the treasure, greed burning in his eyes. But then the spirit of the forest struck, and her father fell, screaming as he was pulled into the depths of the Loch-ee. The sight broke Aminata's heart. But she knew now that the treasure came at a terrible cost. She could not let herself fall into the same trap. The full moon rose high, casting a red glow over the forest. It was the night of the blood moon, a time when the curse was at its strongest. Aminata knew this was the moment to complete the ritual and claim the treasure, but to do so, she had to offer a sacrifice, something she could not bear to lose. As the moonlight bathed the grove, the voice of the night walker whispered, "Sacrifice or perish, for you cannot leave without paying the price." Aminata was not alone on her journey. She had encountered another traveler, Sefu, who claimed to be seeking the treasure for noble reasons. They had become allies, but as the night wore on, Sefu's true nature was revealed. He too was consumed by greed. In a moment of weakness, Sefu tried to take the treasure for himself, betraying Aminata. She barely escaped his trap, and as she fled, she realized that the forest was closing in, enraged by the treachery. She had to act quickly. The trees roared, the earth trembled, and the air grew thick with darkness. The night walker had awoken in full fury. Aminata ran through the grove, with the spirit hot on her heels. The trees reached out, their branches like hands, trying to grab her. The very ground seemed to shift beneath her feet. The spirit called to her, "You are not worthy of the treasure. You are tainted by your father's greed." But Aminata pressed on, determined to finish what her father had started. At last, Aminata found the cave that housed the treasure. Inside, ancient markings adorned the walls, and the air smelled of decay. The treasure was a chest of gold, encrusted with jewels, sitting on a pedestal in the center of the cave. But it was not the treasure that held her attention, it was the remains of her father, his body rotting beside it. Aminata's heart shattered. Her father had claimed the treasure, but in the end, it had taken his soul. The curse had not only destroyed him, it had destroyed his humanity. The night walker appeared before her in its true form, a shadowy, towering figure with eyes that glowed like fire. It spoke, its voice deep and cold. "The treasure is a curse, not a blessing. It was never meant to be claimed. Your father's soul is mine, and now yours will be too unless you choose wisely." Aminata stood before the treasure, knowing that to claim it would seal her fate. The spirit offered her unimaginable power, but at the cost of her soul. She could become rich and powerful forever, but she would never be free. Her heart told her what to do. With a heavy heart, Aminata turned away from the treasure. She knew the only way to break the curse was to leave it behind. The night walker roared in fury as Aminata fled. The forest itself seemed to rise up against her, the trees bending and twisting in unnatural ways. But Aminata ran, pushing herself beyond her limits. At the very last moment, as the spirit reached out to claim her, the curse was broken. The grove fell silent, the forest released its grip, and the spirit vanished into the wind. Aminata emerged from the golden grove, forever changed but free. She had rejected the treasure, and in doing so, had freed her father's soul and herself from the curse. We've reached the end of this epic journey, but don't let it stop here. If you enjoyed this story, I'd be so grateful if you could hit the like button and share it with your friends. After all, everyone deserves to hear this dark tale. If you want more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed and ring the bell so you never miss out on the next adventure. Thanks for being a part of this journey with me. See you, until the next time, please be safe.